Ever feel like going back to the good old days? Well, not always good, but you get the point. Living like a medieval peasant or a warrior. In this video, I am going to be talking about 10 best medieval games to play if you want to get immersed in the old times. So let's look at the first game on our list. Kingdom Come Deliverance. If you're into medieval games, then Kingdom Come Deliverance is one you've got to check out. This game is all about realism and immersion. You're thrown into 15th century Bohemia, a world that's detailed down to the smallest things like what people wear and how they talk. It's not your usual hack and slash, it's a game where you have to think and act like someone from that time period. You play as Henry, a blacksmith's son whose life is turned upside down when his village is attacked by mercenaries. The story is personal, and it's full of twists that keep you hooked. What's really cool is how the game makes you learn and improve your skills just like Henry would. Want to become a great swordsman? You'll need to practice. Fancy becoming a master thief? You'll have to sneak around and pickpocket without getting caught. The combat system is one of the most realistic out there. It's complex and challenging with a focus on timing and technique. It might be frustrating at first, but once you get the hang of it, it feels incredibly rewarding. And let's not forget the beautiful landscapes. The game's world is massive and looks stunning with lush forests, quaint villages, and imposing castles. But it's not just about fighting. Kingdom Come Deliverance is also about making choices that affect the story. Do you help the villagers and gain their trust, or do you look out for yourself? Your decisions have real consequences, and there's no clear right or wrong, and this makes every playthrough unique. So, if you're looking for a game that gives you a taste of what life was like in the medieval times, Kingdom Come Deliverance is a must-play. It's a game that doesn't just entertain you, but also makes you appreciate the history and culture of the era. Give it a try, and see if you can survive the harsh, unforgiving world of medieval Bohemia. Medieval Dynasty. Next up on our list of the best medieval games is Medieval Dynasty. This game is a real gem if you're into building, managing, and surviving in the harsh medieval world. Imagine starting with nothing but the clothes on your back and a few basic tools, and then building an entire village from scratch. That's what Medieval Dynasty is all about. You play as a young man who's fled from war and wants to make a new life. You start by gathering resources, building your first little house, and then expanding your settlement. It's not just about chopping wood and hunting deer. You've got to manage your villagers, keep them happy, and ensure everyone has enough to eat. It's a delicate balance, and every decision you make can have big consequences. One of the coolest things about Medieval Dynasty is how it blends different genres. It's part survival game, part RPG, and part city builder. You'll be farming, hunting, crafting, and trading, all while trying to keep your people safe and prosperous. And the seasons change, the weather affects your crops, and wild animals can be both a threat and a resource. It's incredibly immersive and makes you feel like you're really living in that world. The game also has a beautiful, sprawling open world. The landscapes are stunning with dense forests, rolling hills, and clear rivers. You can explore, gather resources, and even interact with other NPCs who might join your village or become friends. The more you play, the more your village grows, and before you know it, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. So if you're looking for a game that lets you experience the highs and lows of medieval life, Medieval Dynasty is a perfect choice. It's challenging, rewarding, and incredibly satisfying to see your little village grow into a bustling community. Dive in and see if you have what it takes to build a dynasty that will last for generations. A Plague Tale Games. Alright, let's talk about A Plague Tale Requiem, a game that throws you right into the heart of medieval France during one of its darkest times. This game is all about surviving in a world torn apart by the plague, and it's got that gritty, realistic feel that makes you appreciate the harsh realities of the time period. You play as Amisha, a young girl who's got the tough job of protecting her little brother Hugo. The plague is everywhere, and rats, we're talking thousands of them, are a constant, terrifying threat. But these rats aren't just a creepy background detail, they're central to the gameplay and story. They swarm, they devour, and they force you to think on your feet. What's really cool about Plague Tale Requiem is how it captures the essence of the medieval era. The game world is meticulously detailed, from the crumbling villages to the dense, ominous forests. You can almost smell the damp earth and feel the weight of the oppressive, disease-ridden air. It's not just about fighting enemies, it's about surviving in a world where danger lurks around every corner.
I feel my mind.
Stealth plays a huge role here. You can't just run in swinging a sword. You've got to be smart, use the environment to your advantage, and outthink both human enemies and the relentless rat swarms. The puzzles are clever and often nerve-wracking, making you think like someone truly desperate to survive. And let's not forget the historical backdrop. The game does a fantastic job of weaving in elements of medieval life, the impact of the plague, the power of the church, and the sheer struggle to find safety and stability. It's educational in a way that doesn't feel forced, giving you a real sense of what life might have been like during this dark chapter of history. So, if you're looking for a game that immerses you in the gritty, unforgiving world of medieval France, A Plague Tale Requiem is a must-play. It's intense, emotional, and a true testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming odds. Give it a try and see if you can navigate the perilous path of survival alongside Amisha and Hugo. Ryse, son of Rome. Next on our list is Ryse, Son of Rome, a game that throws you right into the heart of the Roman Empire. This game is like playing through a Hollywood blockbuster set in ancient Rome. It's all about epic battles, stunning visuals, and a gripping story that keeps you hooked from start to finish. You play as Marius Titus, a Roman soldier on a mission to avenge his family's murder and defend the empire from its enemies. The story is intense and full of twists, making you feel like you're part of a grand Roman epic. Marius is a badass, and the game does a great job of making you feel like a true Roman warrior. One of the coolest things about Ryse, Son of Rome is its combat system. It's all about timing and precision, with brutal executions that make every fight feel satisfying. The game is pretty straightforward. You block, you strike, and you execute. It's simple but really fun, and the animations are just incredible. The game world is absolutely gorgeous. The graphics are top-notch, with detailed environments that make ancient Rome come to life. You'll march through lush forests, storm grand fortresses, and fight in epic battles that look straight out of a movie. The attention to detail is amazing, and it really helps immerse you in the setting. Ryse, Son of Rome isn't just about hacking and slashing though. It's got a solid story that explores themes of duty, honor, and vengeance. The characters are well developed, and the voice acting is top tier, making you care about Marius and his journey. The game also does a great job of showcasing the might and grandeur of the Roman Empire. From the towering Colosseum to the bustling streets of Rome, everything feels grand and epic. It's like getting a crash course in Roman history with all the drama and spectacle you'd expect. So, if you're looking for a game that combines epic action with a captivating story set in ancient Rome, Ryse, Son of Rome is definitely worth checking out. It's a visual feast and a thrilling adventure that'll make you feel like a true Roman hero. Dive in and experience the glory and brutality of the Roman Empire. Pentiment. Now, let's talk about Pentiment, a game that takes you back to the 16th century, right in the heart of medieval Europe. This game is a true labor of love, and it shows in every single detail. It's not your typical medieval game, it's a narrative adventure that feels like you're walking through a living, breathing manuscript. You play as Andreas, an artist working in a monastery in Bavaria. The game's visual style is inspired by illuminated manuscripts and Renaissance art, which makes it look like nothing else out there. It's like stepping into a beautifully crafted storybook with every scene bursting with intricate details. What's amazing about Pentiment is how it immerses you in the life and culture of the time. The story revolves around a murder mystery that spans decades, with your choices shaping the outcome. It's a deep dive into the religious, social, and political issues of the era, all told through engaging dialogue and stunning visuals. The game's narrative is its strongest point. It's smart, witty, and incredibly detailed. You get to shape Andreas' background and personality by choosing his education, skills, skills, and even his hobbies. These choices aren't just for show, they affect how you interact with other characters and solve problems. It's a game that respects your intelligence and curiosity, giving you a lot of freedom to explore and make your mark on the story. Pentiment also does a fantastic job of making history come alive. It's packed with references to real historical events, figures in daily life in the 1500s. You'll learn about the Reformation, the Holy Roman Empire, and how the church influenced every aspect of life. But don't worry, it never feels like a history lesson. The game is so well written and engaging that you'll find yourself wanting to learn more about the time period. The puzzles and gameplay are woven seamlessly into the narrative. You'll need to use your wits to uncover clues, make decisions that impact the story, and navigate complex social dynamics. The dialogue is sharp and often humorous, making even the most serious topics feel approachable. So, if you're looking for a game that's rich in story and steeped in the culture of medieval Europe, Pentiment is a must-play. It's a unique experience that combines art, history, and storytelling in a way that's both educational and incredibly entertaining. Dive into this beautifully crafted world and see what mysteries you can uncover. Mount and Blade 2. Let's dive into Mount Blade 2 Bannerlord, a game that drops you right into the chaotic, brutal world of medieval warfare. If you've ever wanted to experience what it's like to be a knight leading your own army, this game is your ticket. It's all about strategy, combat, and building your own legacy in a richly detailed medieval setting. You start off as a nobody, just another adventurer trying to make a name for yourself in the war-torn land of Calradia, but as you gather troops, win battles, and gain influence, you can rise to become a powerful lord or even a king. The game gives you incredible freedom to play however you want. Want to be a ruthless warlord, a cunning traitor, or a noble knight? It's all up to you. One of the coolest things about Bannerlord is its massive open world sandbox. The map is huge and filled with bustling cities, quaint villages, and strategic castles. You can roam around, take on quests, and engage in epic battles with hundreds of troops on the field. The combat system is deep and satisfying, with realistic physics and a huge variety of weapons and armor to choose from. The game's battles are a standout feature. They're intense, strategic, and incredibly fun. You can command your troops, devise tactics, and lead the charge yourself. The thrill of seeing your strategies unfold on the battlefield, or the panic of a plan gone wrong, is unmatched. It really makes you feel like a medieval commander. But Bannerlord isn't just about fighting. There's a whole lot of depth when it comes to managing your kingdom. You'll need to handle diplomacy, trade, and internal politics. Building alliances, managing resources, and keeping your subjects happy are all crucial to maintaining your power. It's a complex balancing act that keeps you engaged for hours on end. The world of Calradia is alive and dynamic. Factions rise and fall, towns grow and shrink, and the balance of power is always shifting. Your actions have real consequences, and the game world reacts to what you do. This makes every playthrough unique and gives you a real sense of immersion. So if you're looking for a game that lets you live out your medieval fantasies, Mount Blade 2 Bannerlord is a must-play. It's a perfect blend of strategy, action, and role-playing, set in a richly detailed medieval world. Whether you're leading troops into battle or forging a kingdom through diplomacy, every moment is filled with the thrill of the medieval era. Skyrim. Alright, let's talk about the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, a game that has become legendary in the world of medieval fantasy RPGs. If you've ever dreamed of exploring a vast, magical world filled with dragons, epic quests, and ancient mysteries, then Skyrim is the game for you. You start off as the Dragonborn, a hero with the power to absorb the souls of dragons and use their mighty shouts. The story kicks off with you escaping an execution and diving headfirst into a world brimming with adventure. The main quest is all about stopping Alduin, a dragon prophesied to destroy the world, but the real magic of Skyrim is in its freedom. You can ignore the main quest entirely and just roam the beautiful, rugged land of Skyrim at your own pace. The world of Skyrim is absolutely massive and incredibly detailed. From the towering, snow-capped mountains to the dark, mysterious dungeons, every corner of the map is packed with things to see and do. You can join different factions like the Thieves Guild, the Dark Brotherhood, or the College of Winterhold, each with their own unique storylines and quests. lasts. It's a living, breathing world where you can lose yourself for hours. Combat in Skyrim is versatile and fun. You can wield swords, bows, magic, or even dual-wield weapons. The game lets you mix and match different playstyles, so whether you want to be a stealthy assassin, powerful mage, or a heavy armored warrior, Skyrim has you covered. The dragon battles are a highlight, with these massive beasts swooping down from the sky, making every encounter feel epic and challenging. One of the best things about Skyrim is its sense of immersion. The world feels alive, with NPCs going about their daily routines, dynamic weather, and a day-night cycle that adds to the realism. The soundtrack, composed by Jeremy Soule, is iconic and adds so much to the atmosphere, making your adventures feel grand and epic. Crafting and alchemy are also big parts of the game. You can smith your own weapons and armor, brew powerful potions, and enchant items to enhance your abilities. It's a game where you can truly customize your experience to suit your playstyle. Skyrim is also known for its modding community, which has kept the game fresh and exciting even years after its release. There are countless mods that add new content, improve graphics, and tweak gameplay, ensuring that there's always something new to discover. Chivalry 2. Alright, let's get into Chivalry 2, a game that totally throws you into the middle of medieval combat. If you've ever wanted to experience the chaos and brutality of medieval battles, this game is your ticket. It's all about these massive multiplayer battles where you can swing swords, fire arrows, and storm castles in these epic, chaotic skirmishes. In Chivalry 2, you play as a knight, a footman, or an archer in these huge battles that feel like they're straight out of a medieval movie. The combat system is deep and satisfying, focusing on skill and timing. You'll need to master your weapons, block and parry enemy attacks, and find the right moment to strike. It's intense and incredibly fun, especially when you're in the middle of a huge brawl with dozens of other players. The game does an amazing job of capturing the atmosphere of medieval warfare. The maps are detailed and diverse, featuring grand castles, sprawling battlefields, and quaint villages. Each map is designed to make the battles feel epic and cinematic, with objectives like breaching castle walls, capturing points, and defending key locations. It's chaotic, it's brutal, and it's incredibly satisfying. One of the coolest things about Chivalry 2 is the variety of ways you can play. Whether you prefer charging into battle with a massive sword, sniping enemies from a distance with a longbow, or supporting your team with strategic plays, there's a role for you. The game's class system lets you choose your playstyle and switch it up whenever you want, keeping the gameplay fresh and exciting. But it's not all serious. Chivalry 2 has a great sense of humor. You can throw chickens, use unconventional weapons like fish, and even engage in taunts and emotes that add a bit of lighthearted fun to the carnage. It's this blend of intense combat and playful elements that makes the game stand out. So, if you're looking for a game that offers thrilling, visceral medieval combat, Chivalry 2 is a must-play. It's a perfect blend of skill-based fighting, strategic team play, and immersive medieval warfare. Jump in and see if you have what it takes to become a legendary warrior on the battlefield. For honor. Okay, let's talk about For Honor, a game that totally nails the medieval combat vibe. If you've ever wanted to be a knight, a samurai, or a Viking and just, bash it out on the battlefield, this game is perfect for you. It's all about these intense tactical fights where every move counts. In For Honor, you can choose from different factions, knights, samurai, or Vikings, and each has its own unique heroes with distinct fighting styles. The combat system is super deep and focuses a lot on skill. It's not just button mashing. You've got to think about your moves, block, dodge, and counter your opponent's attacks. It feels really rewarding when you master your character's moveset. The single player campaign is pretty cool too. It's not super long, but it gives you a good feel for the game's lore and lets you try out different heroes from each faction. The story is engaging with some epic moments that really draw you in. And the game keeps getting updates with new heroes, maps, and events, so there's always something new to check out. The community is pretty active and it's just fun to jump into a match and see what crazy stuff happens. So if you're looking for a game that offers intense skill-based medieval combat, For Honor is a must play. It's challenging, rewarding, and just like a blast to play. Grab your sword, axe, or katana and see if you have what it takes to dominate the battlefield. Dragon Age Inquisition. Alright, let's dive into Dragon Age Inquisition, a game that totally immerses you in a rich medieval fantasy world. If you're into epic stories, complex characters, and like deep RPG mechanics, this game is definitely for you. You start off as the Inquisitor, a character with a mysterious mark on their hand that can close these dangerous rifts popping up all over the world. The story kicks off with you trying to figure out like what the heck is going on and how to stop it. It's got this like grand narrative that pulls you into a world filled with political intrigue, magical threats, and yeah, some seriously epic battles. One of the coolest things about Dragon Age Inquisition is its open world. The game has several huge regions to explore, each with its own unique environments, quests, and secrets. You'll roam through lush forests, snowy mountains, and ancient ruins, meeting all sorts of interesting characters along the way. The world feels alive and full of possibilities. The combat system is like really flexible. You can play as a warrior, mage, or rogue, and each class has its own unique abilities and playstyles. You can also switch between characters in your party during combat, which adds a lot of depth and strategy. The tactical view lets you like pause the action and plan out your moves, which is super useful in tough fights. Character interactions are a big part of the game. You'll recruit and build relationships with a diverse cast of companions, each with their own backstory and personality. Your choices in dialogue and quests can affect these relationships and even change the course of the story. It's really engaging and makes you feel invested in the world and its characters. The game's visuals are stunning with detailed character models, beautiful landscapes, and epic magical effects. The music and voice acting are top-notch too, adding to the immersive experience. It's the kind of game where you can just lose yourself for hours exploring every nook and cranny. So, if you're looking for a game that offers a rich, immersive medieval fantasy experience, Dragon Age Inquisition is a must-play. It's got epic adventures, deep characters, and like a world that's just begging to be explored.
We call it the breach. It grows larger with each passing hour.
Well everyone, that was all for this video. Have a good day. I will see you later.